that are getting more and more experience and getting better as they go on. But this NRG team, the story for me about them is Daps as an in-game leader. Because Daps he's shown so many good things, and he's shown the ability to bring a team from the bottom and get them to a certain level, but never been able to surpass that. Remember that Optic team, he got them to a certain point, and then he was removed, and then they had their success after that. So for me, this story of NRG is about, can Daps find that next gear to get his players to be able to qualify for the next step?
I think this is going to be one of his best opportunities, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Because a lot of the teams, and you kind of touched on this earlier today, it's no disrespect to the teams, but you don't have the mouse sports, you don't have the Norths of bygone eras that are in this, and you think categorically like the favourites, and you can't see how they couldn't possibly get through. So I think this really is one of the best opportunities and best chances. In terms of the veto, it's actually Nuke, which is very surprising for me personally, because NRG have only played this 4 times. Yeah,
but I think quietly they kind of like this map.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie to you. I have the sneaking suspicion that this team is very comfortable on Nuke. And especially they strike me as a team as well. I'm a pet as a coach, I think, is someone who's willing to take a risk in terms of let's prepare a map that we don't generally play and just kind of pull it out. And I think that might be the philosophy here with some of the time off that they've had. So we'll have to see. I think this is... I'm having NRG take this match.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, in terms of the maps, I guess it was always going to come down to either Cache or Mirage or Overpass, because Dust 2 is like an absolute ban for NRG. They just don't play it.
Yep.
Winstrike have played it 20 times in the last 3 months. And then in terms of Inferno, NRG have played it a bunch, and Winstrike absolutely haven't played it. But apart from
bans are pretty obvious.
Yeah. So Nuke, to me, though, is a bit of a surprise, I've got to say. But also mentioning Winstrike, you talked about how QBF obviously got through to the Legends stage last time. They now have World Edit and Waylander.
Yeah.
And these two guys, they're experienced, they're veteran, they've been around the block quite a few times.
Yeah, that can be a little bit of a wrinkle. This is, I mean, there's some interesting things on both teams. I'm always just really disappointed because you'll see the names. They're a little bit, some of the names on this Winstrike team are a little bit confusing. There is a guy whose name is spelled Boombla, but it's pronounced Boomich.
Boomich, yeah.
And I like Boombla better.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got, what's it, Norbert?
That's all I got. That's my analysis of Winstrike.
You've got Norbert that's all in like the leet speak sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then, is it Quick? How do you say, how would you pronounce it?
I think it is actually just Quick.
Quick.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
That one's easy.
Yeah, that's easier. I know there's some dodgy names in like a Vanguard as well. You've got the Quickert guy.
Yeah, I don't know if that's Quickert or Kikert.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's something weird.
Bit confusing.
Oh well, tall task for Winstrike in this. Not going to be favored. NRG, they've risen through the ranks last year, and I believe they're like 7th on HLTV, 5 here in our rankings at ESL.
That's a real sleeper, though, isn't it? Like NRG 5th.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have thought it, but it does kind of make sense.
They're very good. Don't sleep on these boys.
No, definitely not.
Definitely the big favorites as well. As you can see up on the screen, we are going to get live into this match, the 4th of today. I guess maybe the 8th, if you want to think of it that way, since we've got 2 streams going. The other stream is Furia versus Nip.
Yep.
Good old Nip. That's going to be an interesting game. I know a lot of people think that Furia is going to be much better than people expect. At least that's the general consensus I got from angry people tweeting at me yesterday. So,
yeah, absolutely. I kind of had the same feeling. Coming into this tournament, the one team that I knew very little about was Furia. The rest of the teams I felt pretty confident with.
Well, and you even heard like NRG talking, like they were just like, yeah, we don't know anything about the other Brazilian teams. We've never really played against them. So I mean, even within the teams that are competing against them at the minor and even here in the qualifier, probably not a whole lot to find out about those guys until you actually get into the server and experience it, which at a major is never the best feeling.
There was that whole storyline of, I'm probably saying his name wrong, Kesaranto, I think, from Furia, who apparently was in the running to potentially get picked up by MIBR before they went with Phelps.
Yep, and I know, I watched some of those games with Richard at the minor. I was hanging out with him, and we were just watching. And Kesaranto's got some skills, baby. Yeah, he's very, very good. So that could be an intriguing matchup. That's over on twitch.tv/ESL_CSGO. Yes.
We are running 2 streams until a bit later on in this stage, and I believe it's the same kind of format for the next part.
We condense it to 1 stream partway through the week, and then it'll reset obviously for the next one as well. This is just a nice fun way to bang out a lot of Counter-Strike very, very quickly. Players doing some last-minute adjustments and making sure everything feels good. Hand warmer's all set, all ready to be grabbed. Ooh, Fugly's going with the wireless as well, Vince.
My man.
My man.
There you go. It's the future, man.
So is Ethan. Oh, we didn't even mention that. Ethan's put his name the right way.
Finally.
That makes everyone happy.
It's not naughty anymore.
The world rejoices.
There you go.
Yep.
Good man, Ethan. Here we go, though, Moses. We are jumping in to the game. NRG versus Winstrike on Nuke. And it'll be Winstrike who actually start on the CT side.
Oh dear, fast pace, upper rush towards the bomb site. Flashbangs are out, they're gonna come out the hut. Ethan coming out of the door, spamming the smoke. There's so many players here from Winstrike, but Cirque's gonna win the opening battle. That player in Mini is blocked off. Heaven as well, it's tough to get out. Look at the flank though, it's all on Daps. He can't connect the shots.
More pistol round madness. And as Ethan goes in on Norbert, but Daps has also been found. Post-plant situation, Ethan's gonna have to hold his nerve. He's going to be enforced by multiple players, and here we go. Headshot is delivered, but it's down to Breezy against Waylander. Waylander comes out with a P2000, should have stuck with the USP. Breezy takes him out. NRG convert the bomb plants.
That was a little bit dicey for NRG inside the site. Breezy and Ethan kind of holding behind that, and they didn't realize those two players on the flank went through Squeaky to join up with the player coming Mini, and they got very close to that bomb site before the information came in. They got stalled a little bit by the player in hut, able to distract them just long enough for Ethan and Breezy to get the angles. 1-0 for NRG.
Just a lone Desert Eagle on Norbert, and also gonna have one on Quick. And speaking of Quick, Fugly straight out on Squeaky for the second consecutive round. Ethan and Breezy both chime in with kills, and as you'd expect with such a low investment, Winstrike have been pretty comprehensively dealt with. And it's gonna be more of the same. NRG picking up a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, this heads up in Heaven just got ripped off one by one. Nicely done from NRG. One way to take the pressure of the situation out is those fast-paced aggressive rushes. We've seen it essentially the same one 2 rounds in a row now.
It's not really a play that you want to go for once the Molotovs and extra firepower picked up, so may as well exploit it while you can.
Well, and I mean, if they wanted to just be real insane, they could do it again in this round, because there's not quite enough money for the Molotovs to come out just yet. Not a lot of utility as the AWP, the glass cannon is picked up on World Edit, AUGs and M4s. Only Boomich with the 1 Molotov for the defensive side. Now, I don't think we're going to see that rush 3 rounds in a row. But certainly, at this point, the fact that you open with it twice is going to leave that in the back of the minds of the defensive players, that they have to be worried about that kind of potential, that you're willing to make that rush happen. That's going to force them to use their utility early on in the rounds to prevent that kind of a situation.
Especially when you still have 2 MAC-10s as well. These are very much disposable, expendable weapons, but instead Daps is going to be using his down in secret to try and beat the smoke. Nearly got the reward for his aggression onto Waylander.
Oh, delayed hit towards the upper bomb site. Fugly just completely ignoring Boomich, and there's the trade. Cirque finds it, World Edit up top, and now look how fast the defense rotated. Daps did his best to distract and cause some kind of a fake. Almost made it work. If he would have got that kill, it would have been beautiful, but Winstrike adjusts perfectly.
And World Edit's always one of those players, he feels like to me he's feast or famine. Either he's going to be an absolute beast or he's going to be completely absent.
Yeah.
What side do you get of him? And so far, been doing all right for himself up in Heaven, landed a couple of nice shots there with the AWP. Have to see if that continues to be the case. Of course, because the T's didn't upgrade all their weapons, they have enough money to get 4 AKs in this round with a CZ on Daps.
This is actually sneakily a pretty important round, because you want to talk about how much utility can affect the CT side. If NRG don't win this, if they don't keep the money low at the very least, then Winstrike is going to be able to have their full kits of Molotovs and smokes already very early on at round 5 in this half. And then that's when it can become really suffocating. That's when they can build up a huge lead. So NRG, even if they lose, they have to do damage. They have to eliminate players. And there's 3 defenders essentially outside. This is insanity. World Edit with the opening pick, but the 2 kills afterwards go quickly. And look at, was that Ethan that just jumped through the window? World Edit has no idea.
And he also shot, I think, as he jumped around the corner, so he didn't even hear his footsteps, and he's been plucked out by Ethan. Down to Boomich. who's in main, been spotted by Ethan, and NRG have completely broken back on Winstrike, who are in a position where they may even have to think about forcing. Two of their players are on $1,500.
This pace NRG has come out with is crazy. I mean, they're not full-blown rushes, but once the go signal comes in from Daps, they're going, which you love to see if you're an in-game leader. That pace to get outside and swarm through the warehouse and get Ethan in towards those windows was craziness.
And we were talking before about how maybe nerves would come into play. This is one brilliant way of counteracting that. Just go hyper-aggressive. Don't think about things, just do it.
Yeah, when you're that aggressive, it takes a lot of the decision-making out of your hands because, I mean, you only have, when you're going that speed, everything is just attack, attack, attack. Good pick for Cirque. It's World at its AWP. That was salvaged in the last round by Ethan. And a 5-on-4 for a minute and a half.
And important to mention that Winstrike did indeed force buy, so they're going to have zero money in the bank if they were to lose. Cirque not far off on that flick. World edit with his scout. Let's see if he can somewhat counteract, but Cirque is doubled up.
That's really cool. Keep Ethan close to the AK-47. Give Cirque the time to pick wherever he wants. He just spotted that shoulder. I don't think they realize Waylander's here. Rest of the team working their way towards ramp room, so Ethan is going to be able to pinch, and it might just open things up so well that he doesn't really need to do a whole lot from here on.
Waylander hoping to maybe take a weapon away from the T's. Around the corner, the CZ does land the headshot, but his days are numbered because Daps lays in wait. Top of main, leaving Boomich once again the last surviving Winstrike player. Bomb planted on B. It's been pretty straightforward for NRG so far. They had one hiccup, but instantly recovered.
Boomich would love to just grab an AK-47 and bail out. Or if he's real lucky, that AWP, but it's just not going to happen. Got Daps to contend with, looking the wrong way, but now they know his position. Daps is going to win that one out. Tough angle for the CZ, tough range for the CZ, and like you said, because of the investment, because of the force buy, still not a lot of cash to fight with. So NRG is getting the benefit of being able to rack up a decent amount of T rounds very quickly in this first half, and that's just that in itself takes so much pressure away. If you can get up towards like 5-6 rounds in your T side of Nuke pretty quickly, everything else that you can get in the half is just gravy. You don't have to worry about sitting at 2 rounds and having 3 rounds left in the half and just praying that you can get 1 or 2 of them.
It's just a nice bonus. Again, it will just take away any nerves. Confidence will build. Norbert wants no part of this round. Rushes straight into the embracing arms of Breezy, who will oblige with his AK-47. And Breezy hoping that Quick has the same idea, but Quick is holding the angle with the P250. Looking for headshots, hunting for them. And NRG, of course, are going to play this one passively. They know that Winstrike have pistols. There's no reason to run into any kind of crossfire or any kind of stack.
And I like the fact that they're taking it slow because they know with that investment with the scouts that were bought in the previous round that, you know, there's not going to be a lot of toys for Winstrike to play with. So this is a perfect round to slow down because that change of pace makes you as a player so uncomfortable. If you're Winstrike, you're just wondering every single round, is this the one they rush? Is this the one they go slow? Do I need to save it? Do I need to hold on to this Molotov for a late round execution? Do I need to use it at the start? And the fact that you never know what's coming, just, you know, you're always in a level of uncomfortability. I think that's right. I am extremely jet lagged.
It's all good. Not so much for Winstrike at the moment. Boomich with his AK would be a nice weapon to take out, but aim punch is always going to be an issue. And down he goes. And in terms of this round, actually, Winstrike still aren't fully out of the woods when it comes to their economy. Yes, they can buy, but a couple players around $4,000.
They're going to have to buy, even if you're right on that edge, which is the tough part for this CT side. It is a really difficult decision to make because you do want to have those Molotovs. They only have the one. Again, it's Boomich that picks that up. Another glass cannon out for World Edit.
Ouch. No kits. Winstrike just can't catch a break at the moment. And that one Molotov they have, as you said, has been used instantly onto Hut just to make sure no rush was forthcoming. It's already depleted a very thinly spread amount of utility. They're going to have nothing to work with soon. Only one smoke left.
This time there's multiple players outside, but it's a very passive defense. World Edit is going to peek the window next, or he's right there, and Fugly's got a decision to make, and ooh, there's a pressure in towards the door. Great job by Breezy. Double kill as he holds on, and you can't blame him for not being able to handle the third player. This opens up the possibility of a flank on the World Edit, who's checking it, but he's not quite aware. There's the scope and missed shot. It's all down to Norbert. And you have to imagine there's not a whole lot he can do here. Bomb is still outside. And NRG just racking up the rounds.
Especially rough for him because he knows pretty much nothing about where the players are. Only one up in heaven, and that's going to be Fugly who deals with him. 6-1. They went for a force, meaning they're down to pistols again. Best case scenario. I mean, is this maybe the time to pull the trigger and call a tactical timeout, Moses? Because this has just been going shockingly poor. This
round or the next one, which will be the next time you buy, right?
Yeah.
And I think the big thing for Winstrike is you just say, you know what, let's not force buy. Although they do have I think they're starting to get a pretty deep into the losing bonus. Quick does pick up Deagle armor. Just go for the pistols and make sure, remember, they still haven't had a buy where they've had full nades behind their weapons. And that's, I think, if you're Winstrike, the next goal is to just say, you know what, let's just bite the bullet, do a full save on a round where we could invest something, but let's make sure the next time we have a buy, we have every opportunity to have a solid win and be able to build upon it afterwards.
In terms of this round, it's Deagles, and a lot of them. And can they land the headshots? It's all about the Juan Deags at this point, but it's going to be Cirque that taps the head off Norbert, opening up ramp in the process. Daps lurking in the shadows of Secret. It's going to be found by Boomich, and that's going to be an AK potentially trading hands. They can't get their hands to it just yet, though, because Ethan's here. But now they're going to get two for the price of one. This round is starting to turn nicely in Winstrike's favor.
Oh, and I don't know if I enjoy the fact that the last option for NRG in this round, they almost have to go up the ladder. There's a minute left. They can slow things down and try to work their way across the map, but these Deagles now, they have safety, and they can just take shots and fall back behind cover. Fugly is already tagged, and Cirque with the AWP. You're not going to find entries this way. Maybe a pick. You do grab quick. Sorry about that. And it almost feels like Fugly's going to have to do the work. Maybe they trade guns, trade primaries over.
Yeah, so that Cirque can absorb a little bit more punishment if he is to entry. Instead, they're going to decide to go for the more open area of downstairs on B. Gonna smoke off both control room and the doors. But Boomich, oh no, there's a slight gap in it though. He's gonna be able to see them as they run past, and that's gonna be their fate sealed. Maybe Cirque can get a couple kills on his way out. Nice shot, but he doesn't have time. You can see what he was going for. The preemptive shot through the smoke. I'm not sure how that no-scope missed actually point blank range there, but unfortunately for him it did. And Winstrike will pick up their second round.
The unlikeliest of rounds, just with the Deagles, but being able to have that up finally can pass it over to World Edit. That's actually pretty huge, because now look, now they have full utility. They don't have to really buy, you know, everything. They have the free AWP onto World Edit. They have the free AK-47 onto Boomich. So everyone's got Molotovs now. And now if you're NRG, the playbook shrinks a little bit. You can't necessarily go for those fast strategies, or at least in this round, you want to see how they use their Molotovs. So you can kind of adjust your decision-making around that in the future.
Moy's being tossed into Secret. Sorry, pardon me. Squeaky almost instantly. Quick, had a bit of a rough one so far. Is going to be the player to peek outside with the AUG. Again, maps like Nuke, the AUG really is tailored for, especially these positions outside. Ramp, the longer range affairs. He has spotted Ethan. Can't quite connect though. Misses out on all those opportunities. Meanwhile, Norbert though has got himself two. Nearly triples his account, and Waylander aggressive into lobby is rewarded. So Winstrike, after being punished time and time again, look like they're going to be able to string a couple rounds together, and Waylander will do just that with his AUG headshot.
Nice round from Winstrike. This is a couple times now we've seen them in the mid-round choose to do a lobby crunch. Previously, they had attempted to take over Squeaky Door Room when Breezy shut down 2. This time, they're successful getting in towards the lobby. And that's enough for Daps and Imapet to have to deal with. They don't want that kind of confusion and upheaval thrown into their strategy, so they're going to call a tactical timeout, talk some things over, maybe try and find a way to neutralize any kind of that aggression.
Yeah, just nip this in the bud before it gets out of control. Currently still 3-6 in the lead. And as you said earlier, once you get to that 5 or 6 round mark, you pretty much just a nice juicy bonus on top of that.
Yeah, no matter what happens, NRG is going to be fine with the scoreline they end up with. The tough part is you don't want to go on some massive losing streak to end a half, because like even if you get 6 rounds early on and then you lose 8 straight, like to end the half, you still feel in a way like you lost, because it has been so long since you've had that taste of victory. 6-3. Another buy, another investment from the NRG side. They still got some decent amount of money on Fugly, but everyone else is pretty much out of it. Looks like they want to line up for an inside execute once these Molotovs dissipate. Daps is already downstairs, which has already pulled the player in towards vent. This is going to make it tough. Boomich out in the open. He's got to spray them both down. He does. He's traded, but he's done his job. Good frags for Cirque, but he's got to buy time, and now his teammate's gone. It's all about doing damage or finding a plant here. Not a high chance of winning this. That's a great headshot, though.
That's so sick. As soon as you see the flashbang, you don't expect the peek alongside it. And he's banking on that. Now Cirque has managed to somehow craft this into a 2-on-1.
As I say, this turns into a winnable situation now.
Still so much time as well, Moses. He can mind game, he can take his sweet time and try and figure out what the best course of action is.
It's still a pretty tough scenario, because there's 2 ways to think about it. Like, if he had actually just kind of gone for the plant while he was in that upper bomb site, you at least have kind of an idea of where the other 2 players are. But now that you've taken so much time and you've gone to the other side of the map, you don't know where they could have moved to. So everything's a guessing game for everyone. It kind of evens the playing field. But for Cirque, it's going to be very difficult to find out their locations.
All the way around outside, going into heaven. He wants the upper ground so he can have more of a field of view as to onto the site. See if he can find a player down to his left or right. Unbeknownst to him, though, that player's on the B side. Norbert now coming up in heaven. Would have made some noise, and Cirque, nice try. Did get a bomb planted. That's going to tick the economy forward a little bit for NRG, but it was a bridge too far. Too many players for him to deal with.
Look how much money World that it has. All the money issues they experienced to start this game are gone. $10,000 before any investment in this round. Even going to drop the gun over to his teammate. 4-6, Winstrike making a comeback on Nuke, and another tactical timeout for NRG. Now that's an interesting. Does that make you feel uncomfortable at all? Like if you're calling 2 timeouts that closely together?
Yeah, a little bit. I think Winstrike will take a bit of confidence from that. Thinking, okay, well, the last timeout did nothing. They have to do another one, so clearly something is just not feeling right at all for NRG. I guess on the other side of the coin, though, you could think, okay, well, what do they have planned next? Are they going to try some crazy rush? Are they going to do something out of left field?
I think at this point, Winstrike would be fine with them rushing, because they have the nades and Molotovs. Like, if you're going to do a rush as NRG, you're going to be running through fire somewhere.
Unless they go for the nade onto the squeaky door, instantly smoke down. But then you're attracting HE.
But then you're still coming out through smoke, right?
For sure. Maybe the timeout was also to figure out exactly what they're going to do in terms of their finances. You can see they've gone for a buy, but it's not great at all. Just 2 AKs, the 1 Galil, and 2 SMGs.
Maybe a split through mini to the upper bomb site. Quick's reading the play. There's the shot. Second player hasn't done anything to help him out yet. Breezy's down. Waylander inside the vent, and all the kills going towards Winstrike. No progress made for NRG. This timeout, this investment has not given them anything. Looking like another solid defensive stand.
Winstrike really waking up on this CT side. And as you say, NRG completely denied the timeout, the force buy, everything. They didn't even get a bomb plant. It doesn't look like they're going to get much in terms of damage either, and taking weapons away from Winstrike. Unless Fugly can pull off a miracle, and he can't. Boomich will deny him. Winstrike, that is 4 rounds in a row after being 6-1 behind.
That was an aggressive high five. You don't see Imapet dishing out those power 5s.
Just saying.
Yeah. 4 AUGs and the AWP. Those AUGs have been great outside. They have been so helpful with the various angles you can take with the accuracy and the scope of that weapon. Finally, NRG forced down to pistols. Half by, smoke wall is out. Doesn't matter so much for World Edit, who picks off 1.
That smoke is really going to stifle NRG. If they want to push through, it's going to be behind a flashbang. At least they do get Waylander down eventually, and it is a 3-on-3. Cirque is very low, but this is one of the better chances NRG have had in a while.
Yeah, this is spicy. 2 AUGs recovered as well. Molotov's out. Not all the nades, not all the utility was used by those defenders. And even the smoke for World Edit. He can only peek on the right side, which you imagine there's going to be an AUG scoped in on that situation. Although there goes Ethan, and Cirque's lucky to get away with his life. He can't do anything. He's only got a CZ, and he gets away finally, but he's low on health. This is going to be so tough for NRG to hold.
Although this rests on Fugly. Fugly is going to have to craft a masterpiece of a round. Cirque watching from the vent side. Smokes have been deployed. Bomb planted for Cirque and Fugly. There's the first spray as Fugly goes in. But there is Quick through the doors. Connects the wall bang, and we are going to be tied up all even.
That timer was pretty low, though. A little bit more time eaten off the clock, and that could have been pretty dangerous for Winstrike. But good on NRG. The plant is down, 3 kills, take the money away. It's a net loss in economy for Winstrike.
I'm going to have another buy, though. NRG reeling after a landslide of rounds for Winstrike. In that last round, though, they did take a few weapons away, so although the economy was booming for a while, now a few players are going to start to feel that. $1,400 for Waylander and Boomich. There's not too many rounds left, though, in this half. And Quick again, identical position to where we've seen him start almost every single round. Just behind the garage. AUG in hand, getting flashed multiple times. Here comes the spray. He's going to connect on both. He goes down, but it's going to be okay as far as they're concerned. They have lost World Edit, though, in amongst the ruckus, and that's going to put it down to a 3-on-3.
It's a pretty big kill for Daps. I like the adaptation of this Winstrike defense outside, because they've noticed a number of times NRG isn't necessarily splitting that upper bomb site through mini. They're throwing the smoke, they're dropping down and trying to be aggressive towards those windows. So that's the difference in the angles that they've started taking. Just to eliminate those 2 players, and Breezy's seen enough aggression in towards lobby to be very wary as he holds his position, and Waylander loses his patience. Daps looking to add 1 more, but not able to connect the shot. That's the bomb on the ground as well. Cirque has got to be careful with that AWP.
Yeah, vital information for Winstrike too. Cirque has been spotted, but there is Breezy lending him a hand, and Norbert gets a 1-for-1 trade. And that's going to be NRG's first round in 5. So they're going to finish this half strong from their perspective. Even if they were to go behind 8-7, I mean, 7 rounds on the T side is already a really solid take.
Oh, like I said, the fact that NRG got 6 so fast made them just feel so comfortable. They're just like, who cares what happens for the rest of this? As long as you win that 1 round as they just did to break it up, so you don't just feel like it's been forever since you won a round. NRG sitting in a really nice spot. And if they can win this one, that breaks Winstrike's economy. Although that's not a great start. Nice shot from World Edit. Great shot from World Edit, actually.
Especially within the context of what it means at 7-6. Cirque, one of the best players that NRG have, silenced instantly. World Edit can back away, alleviates the pressure outside, and now Norbert is trying to tee off in ramp. Ethan, the only player to strike for the T's, and Waylander making a move around the back of lobby. Ethan's going to double up, but he's so low on HP, alongside Fugly, who's now been finished off.
I think Daps heard the footsteps of them flanking, which is why Ethan was able to turn around and find that kill, but just so low. 2 HP on Ethan, he could do nothing. Daps is going to have to open up this round. And this is smart from the defense. 2 players in upper, and the player in lower has he's just hiding. Excuse me, actually it's hut, not lower. The mini-map. Boomich with the shotgun.
30 seconds for Winstrike to try and hold on for dear life. NRG certainly have their backs against the wall. I was about to say, well, Leonard needs to make sure he doesn't give his life away, but he's going to strike 2 more times. Starts the round off with a slick shot. It has to be someone to Cirque, and finishes off with the final 2.
Yeah, that jumping shot was quite nice. Fighting themselves back into this.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to give credit to Winstrike, because well as NRG have done to get 7 rounds on the T side, the fact that Winstrike have bounced back from such a horrible deficit early on.
It's kind of like what we talked about. Is like once the CT side can establish and buy the Molotovs every single round, it just naturally shrinks an offensive playbook. Here we go, rush towards ramp room, CZs. Again, Molotov down to slow the progress. Molotov at every choke point. Yeah, you have ramp room, but where do you go from here? Because that Molotov buys time for the defense to rotate down and get into position and kind of shore up any gaps they might have. A super difficult scenario. One player at the windows, one player at the door. And even though they're smoked off, you can get into the site and get the plant, but there's nowhere to go afterwards.
Exactly, it's the last round of the half anyway. They don't care if you get the bomb down, as long as it's in a favorable position for the retake. Fugly has managed to pick off Waylander in amongst the smoke, but here comes World Edit and Quick. And it's looking like the retake is just a formality, it's just a matter of time. And Quick will put the final nail in the coffin for this half. Winstrike will regain the lead and come into the second half at 8-7 to the good.
Yeah, very nice recovery in the half for Winstrike. We have to say, NRG going to be pleased with that result as well. 7 rounds in your T side of Nuke, not an easy thing to do. They racked him up quick as well. Either way, heading to a break. We're going to finish this match off when we return.
Intel Extreme Masters is brought to you in part by Intel, Vodafone, Acer Predator, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, HyperX, Bedway, and Pay Safeguard.
Second half beginning now for Winstrike, up 8-7 over NRG. And NRG trying to avoid the pitfall they stumbled with during the last major cycle. Want to get out to a hot start in this new challenger stage. Speaking of which, it's a ramp rush and another good pistol round. Daps is going to down Quick swiftly.
No mercy. Straight in, Norbert leading the charge for the rest of his team, and they're going to find Daps again. It's Fugly this time, though, that will drill into the head. Surgical precision. Waylander, in the meanwhile, trying to get what he can with the Glock done. Bomb has been planted, but there's just far too many CTs to deal with. Boomich, though, comes back with 2 of his own. The bomb, I was about to say, is planted relatively decent for him, but again, there's a buffer of 3 counter-terrorists in his way, and NRG will pick up the second pistol.
When you're in a 5-on-1 on the pistol round, you can just throw bodies at the problem. This is now both pistol rounds going the way of NRG. A huge benefit, especially on a map like Nuke. That's got to be tough to deal with if you're Winstrike. They just lost too many players as they entered into the bomb site. 1 on ramp room, 1 just as they were entering the bomb site, and from there it's a pretty easy cleanup for NRG. Nice shots from Fugly and Daps. All tied up 8-8, but NRG in a good position to take a pretty commanding lead, because you have to imagine winning that pistol round, if they can get out of this round without taking a whole lot of damage, you're... Oh! That's nasty. World Edit drops Daps immediately with that AUG. That's going to give him an avenue down, and actually Cirque even takes the risk and goes for that. He's got to be very careful outside. Him and Ethan both actually tapping away with the scope in. What I was going to say before Daps had his face taken off was if they can win this round without taking too many losses, then very quickly you establish economic control. You can get those Molotovs out much earlier than Winstrike was able to on their own defensive side.
And we saw the power that it gave Winstrike when they finally got there at 6-1 down. If you can start off with that kind of power, then NRG would already have a foot over the finish line, you'd have to think. Ethan and Cirque both clip in with another kill. So the early worries and shudder that NRG felt as Daps' face was removed have been calmed. Cirque with 3 kills. NRG with the lead once more.
That is a crazy angle for a keyboard that Fugly's working with.
Yeah, I can't understand how people can play like that. But I guess it comes down to a lack of desk space. You just kind of get used to it, right, at an angle.
Maybe he's from the CRT era.
Also that's very possible.
Here we go. AK's out for Winstrike. Molotov's out for NRG, and you can see there's that preemptive smoke you talked about in the first half, but 1 Molotov thrown towards door, 1 thrown inside the hut. Slows everything down. Wall of smokes being set up for Winstrike. I think that's 4 smokes in total outside, and over the top of it, the AUG. Surely it's going to win out there. Daps gets away with 1, down to 16 HP, and he's going to be able to hear those footsteps down lower. Oh, Waylander, what a position to be in, inside the vents already.
Fugly finds Norbert with his MP9. NRG in the 18th round, making inroads to getting double digits on the scoreboard. Boomich is downstairs, though, and Winstrike are making moves, making waves. Cirque has to stand tall with his AUG. He is by and large by himself lonesome for the time being. Now being joined by, I believe that's Breezy.
Unfortunately for them, they don't have the manpower to leave that player in vents to keep an eye on the drop down. They could choose to go back. NRG's in pretty solid positions. Oh, the unscope. Cirque's going to be upset about that one. That's going to allow the bomb to get planted. That's going to buy a little bit of time for them to change their positions.
That is pure tilt timing. He's going to hope the rest of his team, though, can make amends for that unfortunate twist of events. And as they put themselves a player to the good, World Edit and Waylander, the 2 newer members of the roster, have both been bested and found wanting. And NRG will move and claim a 10th round after another bomb defuse, keeping 3 players alive in the process.
Yeah, that's a really big round. Build up some money if you're NRG. You're able to rebuy or drop some guns over and still afford all the utility. Winstrike's going to have a decision to make. That plant is going to give them the extra money needed. They're right on the edge of a buy. 3 players can get AKs and armor. You can have 2 players with utility, but they're going to have a timeout and talk about it. They want to discuss how many players they want to be able to afford the smokes and the flashbangs to be able to execute some kind of a strategy.
And this surely is where the alarm bells are vaguely audible in the distance.
The warning sirens?
Winstrike. Yeah. You just hear a fading sound in the distance. Because NRG, they did struggle with the full set plays that Winstrike on the CT side had. NRG are already at that point. Winstrike's economy is in tatters, but they have gone for an investment and a half buy.
That's a pretty hefty investment, pretty decent sized investment. With a losing bonus building up, if Winstrike were to lose this round, they'd have a 4-round losing bonus, so they'd have plenty of cash for the next round. Daps under some pressure, listening for footsteps. He's going to spam through the smoke. That's a little bit dangerous. He's got to be careful if someone's not coming through. Takes a lot of damage, down to 24 HP, and they've already made it down. So Winstrike has kind of noticed that there's not exactly the staunchest of resistance outside. Waylander's already in vents again, and we saw that previously, so Fugly's got a lot of pressure put on him here. Look at the rotation, though. Cirque drops down lower. His teammate Breezy rotates from heaven to take control of ramp room. That's well done from the CT side. Nice communication.
Winstrike have been pretty much telegraphing their plays thus far as well. Typically in going down secret, going outside with this wall of smokes. I think NRG have taken it for granted that there's no one else around. Lobby looking to push onto A and bamboozle them. 50 seconds to go. The flashbang finally fades out of the eyes of Fugly, and he will start chiming off with the M4. Bomb goes sprawling. The round is pretty much over. Quick 1 on 5. 37 seconds with just the Desert Eagle. This would be a play for the ages. It won't be happening today.
What a great round from Fugly. That is, I know it looks easier, but that's a lot of awkward fights and not knowing where the next point of attack is going to come from. 3 different choke points you have to be mindful of. Especially getting blind in that fashion. I mean, Winstrike had the time to fall back if they wanted to, but the problem is they used most of their nades and utility to actually get to that position. They only had a smoke, a Molotov, and 1 flashbang, 1 of each, if they wanted to readjust and go elsewhere. Omp is out for World Edit. Now they have all the utility they could need.
We'll let it. He's going to miss out on his chance. As he gets smoked off from any further endeavors through Squeaky.
Cirque wanted a pop flash from his teammate. He actually peeked a little bit too early. It blinded him.
Rumich is going to make a run outside. We've seen this play over and over again from Winstrike. Cirque's already downstairs. He rotated instantly from Squeaky down vent. He is laid in wait. With his AWP. Nice flick across the Boomich. Bomb's been dropped, and there's the Molotov to stop the counter push. Was that a smoke attempting to did that smoke miss?
I think it went just, yeah, I think it was maybe somewhere else. I heard a smoke as well. Don't worry, you're not going crazy.
It's like, wait a second.
Either way, that's a nice little adjustment there from NRG. Cirque this time drops down vents very, very quick, which Winstrike hadn't seen before, and they realize even when that Molotov clears, they've got 1 more choke point they've got to cross against an AWPer. Just don't want to mess with it. So now NRG moves to shore up the upper bomb site. They saw multiple players lower, and realizing Mini is susceptible to an attack. Daps has an angle, but you're not going to have too much success there. You can really just gather information, but this position, this one is pretty brutal. Hard to clear out for the T side. Oh, but he's giving it up. He's giving up the angle. There's 1 more inside the bomb site. This is perfect for NRG. A dominant defense so far in the second half. 5 straight as they're up 12-8.
Absolutely. As you say, the position that Breezy had up on the catwalk is so incredibly, it's top tier. You need multiple players coming out, looking at different angles in order to overwhelm him.
The best part is, didn't they nerf those spots on this map? They changed those rafters a while ago to make it easier to kind of clear those out, and they're still super difficult.
Remember when there was no rafter hindrance, you could just go wherever you wanted to on the top catwalk part. Those were the days when it was brutal for T's.
All right, here we go. Caution to the wind, back 10 at that range. It's the AK that finishes it off. Ethan and Daps respond quickly. Even with the opening kill, Winstrike still down in this round, 2 on 4.
Very aggressive play, but NRG were up to the task. Ethan with 2, still alive and kicking. Alongside Daps, the money is also booming for NRG, so even if they do slip up here and there, they're good to stay around for some time.
As I say, even if Winstrike somehow finds a way to win a round, it's not just 1. You have to win like 3 in a row at this point to really break NRG.
there's no easy way back in. There's going to be a lot of grind, a lot of gritting. But Boomich has picked himself up one, nearly gets a second. Bomb's been planted, but it's going to be yet another defuse. There's been quite a few of them in this half, but NRG have been playing it pretty much to perfection. Still unbeaten on their CT side.
Another timeout, tactical timeout called by Winstrike. It's got to be 3, maybe even 4.
Yeah, I think it's their third. Oh,
Nope.
2.
2.
They got 2 left.
We were both wrong. It's all right, Vince.
Sorry, we fell together.
I'm right there with you.
I think NRG have called 2 as well. Maybe what threw us off.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely what was it.
We'll put it on that.
Thanks, NRG. 13-8. Freeze time coming to a close, but not a whole lot of chances left for Winstrike to get into this game. It's got to be now.
Yeah, exactly. Again, it comes down to, well, how many more chances will they get to muster a buy of equal worth to this? Probably not again. They continue to lose. So it's do or die, sink or swim for Winstrike. It's not going to get any easier even if they do get the upper hand. Ethan this time playing aggressively, taking the fight to Terrorist. He's going to get rewarded. Boomich flying off silo. Dead before he hits the ground, and Cirque also chips in for one of his own. It's gone horribly wrong. It's a complete collapse. The Winstrike have been torn to shreds.
Whoever called this round for NRG, whether it was I'm a Pet or Daps or I don't care, whoever, it could have been Breezy or Ethan, I have no idea. They deserve a lot. They deserve some great credit. They deserve like steak dinner. That is a beautiful call to have, considering how passive and how, I don't want to say weak, but you haven't made outside an emphasis on your defense in this whole half. It's usually just been Daps to gather information. We saw it, but I mean, to get Ethan aggressive, to have him find that pick, to have Cirque there to back him up as he falls back, and then to have Daps come up the stairs in secret late. Winstrike just had no idea what was happening that whole round. That's an outplay of epic proportions.
Yeah, it really can't be stated enough. That is absolutely getting into the minds of Winstrike. I mean, they do seem creatures of habit when it comes to their T side. They've consistently gone outside. They've consistently done around the same ideas, the wall of smokes. So having a player push up like that, even if he just trades 1-on-1, it gives so much information, allows the rest of the team to rotate.
That's how the T side of Nuke kind of works, because you can go ramp room, you can go hot, you can go squeaky door to start rounds if you have economic control on the T side. Once the CG side gets their Molotovs, gets their smokes and their nades, like if you go inside, you're just stuck behind smokes and Molotovs for 10 to 20 seconds sometimes at rounds, and it's just a waste of manpower to have 3-4 people in that lobby just waiting. So I mean, outside is so critically important on Nuke.
That's where really solid Nuke entry fraggers are worth their weight in gold, because they can create plays out of nothing.
I mean, think of the best team in the world on Nuke is Astralis, and I mean, part of the reason is because they're so very good at taking outside and building every strategy they have off of taking outside. So you never kind of you can mask your hits. Winstrike's downstairs very fast, and I don't know if NRG has responded as quickly as we've seen from them in the past. The question is, where do they go from here? Taking a little bit of damage through the smoke. But I don't think there's actually anyone to deny the plant from NRG here, so it's going to have to be a retake. This is the best chance Winstrike has had all half.
It's at the expense of a lot of utility, though, and they don't really possess much left. There's only 4 flashbangs, one of which has just been thrown into ramp. Whereas on the other side, plenty of flashes, a Molotov for Fugly. One of those situations, again, where it's a 10-player retake. And NRG certainly have the advantage in terms of weaponry, but there's the Desert Eagle. Norbert chips in for 1. Fugly's going to counteract instantly. But Boomich CZ is going to sing for 2 mid-air onto Daps. And Winstrike, credit to them, they've done it. They've actually pulled it off.
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe NRG thought they were going to go elsewhere since they'd shut down outside so emphatically for multiple rounds. But, I mean, this time Winstrike just gets down there so fast. We've normally seen NRG with the rotations that come in time to at least slow things down or get in position to stop the plant. This time it's not to be. And even if they only have pistols, that's a tough bomb site to retake when Winstrike already has the post-plant positions.
Winstrike are going to have another crack at full assault rifles with plenty of grenades. As we highlighted though, NRG more than enough funds to buy in this round and the next one, and for a while longer. But Cirque has been put in his place by Waylander, and now we're going to see the hyper-aggression up on A. What can Breezy do? Well, the answer so far is 3 frags, looking for a 4th, and Daps helps him out. NRG somehow spin this round back in their favor. It was looking lost, but instead NRG have 6 match points.
Oh, that's why we talk about Breezy as an up-and-coming player. Look at him just hold the line. I think that clip is going to be used as anti-AUG meta propaganda for a while to come. He's just able to sit there scoped in, and it's like the recoil wasn't even a thing. Beautiful stuff from Breezy, 18 and 14. Cirque and Ethan have taken most of the accolades, 22 kills apiece, leading the way for NRG. And they've got 6 map points to play with, and with that win directly after a Winstrike victory, it's a reset of the money, so that's why you're seeing Norbert on the Deagle, Boomich on the CZ, and again, outside we go.
This time it's Daps that's playing on the red container. There's a flash into peak, did make a bit of noise, I'm not sure how much of that was masked up. The flashbang, there's World Edit at the back of outside. And with that kill, it does open up a few opportunities now for Winstrike.
It's obviously a well... Ooh, they're all pulled in the angle. Cirque goes for a delayed peek. I was about to say, it's a well-rehearsed NRG team. As soon as Daps goes down, Cirque just gave it up. He went towards ramp, one player dropped down below. So they obviously have the theory behind the rotations in place. But Cirque coming back, bit of a mistake once that op gets the angle.
Breezy decides the best form of defending this is to just play very aggressively. Somehow only loses 29 health. It looked like he was getting pasted through that wall. Ethan, in the meanwhile, though, has stepped up and got himself 1 kill, so alleviating some of the pressure off Breezy, allowing him to relocate. He's heard a lot of footsteps outside. He's going to make a move while Fugly watches downstairs. So they're biding their time. Breezy's found himself Norbert. Still a bomb under control by Winstrike. Just over 30 seconds to play with, though.
I like this call by Winstrike, though. They're going to go right at Breezy, and they say, you know what? You just got to kill outside. You're either going to be Squeak or you're going to be at Hut. And they're going to be aware of both, but he's going to win a fight anyways. And now a 2-on-1 for NRG, and Breezy's waiting for Fugly, waiting patiently so they can join up at World Edit's going to go on the attack. The no-scope is in.
Beautiful no-scope, but only 12 seconds left. Oh, he actually flicked too high. So unlucky for World Edit, but NRG have done it. They will be victorious and pick up their first match win at the Major. Winstrike, though, I want to give them credit. A lot of teams would have buckled under that pressure, and they did mount a pretty decent comeback.
They had some fight in them. The T side was just, they let NRG get control of the economy so early in that half. It was always going to be such an uphill battle. Once they lost that pistol, once they lost, you know, the first gun round, it's just so much money for NRG to play with, and so much of an advantage. Either way, we're going to head to a break. I think there's going to have to be a redraw to figure out what the next matches are. We only had the first 4 rounds kind of sewn up, I believe. I think I'm right on that one. Either way, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we'll let you know what the next match is.